Yeah, Kobe. Thanks for the memories, man. 60 points in his final game. What's up, guys? You're back from Mark Jackson. Tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to give you the top 5 things that I think are the best additions in the Wasteland Workshop and the Wasteland Workshop DLC. And also some what ifs, if they're worth it, and some honorable mentions too. But first things first, this video wouldn't even be possible without a friend of mine online. I had some problems with a mod clashing with Wasteland Workshop, and the dude, he didn't just post me once and go, hey, this is how to fix it or whatever. He had to do the research, confirm it himself. The dude literally helped me all day long, and I want to say 2/3 of the time he was at work. So thank you very much. I'm not going to mention your name because I've got something special for you at the very end of the video. So everybody hang out till the end. I mean, it's not the most kick-ass thing, but I hope you like it. Anyway, first I wanted to give you my thoughts on traps. Now, it seems like no matter what, everybody, your pack Brahmin, your robots, yourself, everybody can set off these traps. It doesn't matter what they, who you are or what. I mean, they just go off. Which leads me to believe, and it's something that I haven't seen mentioned before, I'm sure a lot of you guys already realize it, but these traps aren't, they're not base defenses. They're for the arena. So I haven't seen it yet, but man, throw some of these in on your arena floors. If the spike traps or some laser traps, the saw traps. If you want something interesting to go down, I really think that's what Bethesda intended them to be there for. It'd be nice to use them as base defenses, but again, they get set off by everything, absolutely everything. So now, and we're gonna mix this up a little bit, but now that we've gone through what my theory is on the traps, I'm going to start with my number 5 most useful addition in the Wasteland Workshop, and it is the Mutant Hound trap. And the reason why I say the Mutant Hound trap is because Mutant Hound meat, the Deathclaw dogs, Mutant Hound meat, when you cook it up into a roast, removes radiation and feeds you. That is extremely important in the new survival difficulty, and I'm kind of leaning my picks towards the survival difficulty here, biased towards the upgraded survival. So everybody knows, taking a rat away, I believe, makes you thirsty or lowers your immune system. You take water, and I think that for whatever reason lowers your immune system. So it's kind of the scale that if you do it conventionally, take a rat away, take a water, you're going to make yourself vulnerable. Whereas the Mutant Hound meat, Mutant Hound roast, you can reduce a small amount of radiation and sate your hunger at the same time. So that's my number 5 pick. Now I want to go to is it worth it? And we're going to run over here. Is it worth it? The water pump. Now, as you well know, the water pump requires 4 energy and produces 10. Well, the requirements to even build it, and the bonus is you can build it, in just dirt. But, tell me if I'm wrong, it produces 10, it requires a lot, and it requires a generator, that's going to, take a lot of resources to put together. Whereas just 3 of these guys require a lot less resources, and you get 9, and it takes up less space, too. So, is it worth it? I don't think so. I think Bethesda's got to buff it a little bit. I think it's got to produce 15 or 20 water. I'd take 15 or 20 water for 5 power requirement. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because is it worth it? I don't think so. All right, close out. All right, now we're going to go to number 4, and that is, going back in the spirit of cages, the Ragstag cage. What could you want with a Ragstag cage? Well, again, we go back to cookable meats. Grilled Ragstag, as it is right now, increases your carry weight by 25. Now, that's probably subject to change in the survival. The new survival, it might allow you to carry less, but your carry weight's going way down in the new survival. Excuse me, got a cough, guys. All right, I'm back. Your survival or your carry weight's going way down, and now stim packs and ammo, weighs, and missiles weigh a lot, mini nukes weigh a lot. So being able to feed yourself and having that additional carry weight, I think that the Ragstag trap firmly belongs where it's at number 4. Now let's see. I've got another. Is it worth it? And that is the beta wave emitter. Is it worth it, guys? Now, cool, yeah, having tame animals running around your settlements. I'm going to try it out. I actually cheated this one in with a god mode. But it requires 1 rank in Animal Friend and 1 rank in Wasteland Whisperer for the creatures. Now, that is an awful lot of perks that the only reason why I'd use them is just to have a beta wave emitter. I'm not trying to deal with the... I don't use that. Now, if you're one of those players that swears by, those 2 perks and actually uses them a lot, and I could see them being somewhat useful if it wasn't so buggy, and, I could see them somewhat useful as a deterrent in survival. But, that's 2 perks just for this thing, just for me. It might be worth it for you. I'm going to say that it's not worth it for me. All right, and now we go to the number 3, and apologies, I couldn't build one here. But it's the garden plot, where you can build, you build the plot, and then obviously you can build or plant pretty much anything you want on it. I've had a mod, called Working Food Planters for a while. The garden plot works a little bit better in the way that you can put more into it, and you can have assorted, crops and more crops per plot. I think that's totally worth it. It's going to change how a lot of vanilla players build, putting their food inside, so forth and so on, give them a lot more options. It's something that I believe should have been in the game from the start. It is something I believe that Bethesda had in the game, a lot of these light fixtures and a lot of these things that they had in the beginning of the game, and yanked it back out again so they could resell it, to us as DLC. I don't really approve of that kind of behavior. I saw it before with XCOM Enemy Unknown, with a couple of their expansions that obviously took from the story. But, okay, and we saw it in Grey Garden. With the food planters. It's, it's like, well, you have that greenhouse, why not? Now, I want to give an honorable mention as we move to the number 2. The number 2 on our list of most important things added by this DLC. I want to give an honorable mention to the concrete building pack. I don't have a whole lot of that set up here, just this wall, and I'll get to that later. And the concrete build pack with all the new stuff that it has could have easily been number 1 for me, but there's already so much stuff to build anyway, and I was a little bit spoiled by mods. But yeah, adding some dynamic, some angled buildings, pieces, adding some round pieces, I think was a big time step in the right direction. I've been able to build some pretty cool stuff with it, but that is my honorable mention this time around. Now we go to number 2, and this might surprise some people and go, oh no, not number 2, or not number 1, but number 2 is the fusion generator. And this bad boy, for a relatively cheap construction cost, produces 100 power. Now 100 power is crazy. Absolutely nuts. I mean, why, Mark Jackson? How could this possibly be number 2 on the list? Well, the answer is simple. You need 4 science, all 4 perks in science in order to do it. And all 4 perks in science are, in my opinion, a must-get. The thing is, what kept this from being number 2, or kept this from being number 1 and instead of number 2, and instead it's number 2, is that in order to get the 4th rank in science, you got to be level 41, which means that you're going to be a good ways into your playthrough before you're even eligible to build it. That's the only thing that kept it away from number 1 for me. So, if you guys are wondering, that's why. So yeah, we pretty much covered everything. And now we got our number 1. Let me look over my little sheet here, make sure I didn't really leave anything out. And, no, I got it all. And number 1 is a given. And again, it goes with the food, the traps, and the spiraling effects of having to take Rad-X, or Rat-Away, and then water, and then diseases, and that's the Decon Arch. You guys aren't surprised. I know you're not. To be able to walk in here and just get rid of your rads for absolutely free with pretty much no drawback whatsoever instead of having to consume resources like the Mudhound meat or use Radaway, which adversely leads to adverse effects that you need to drink water and your weariness and your wellness and that whole cycle. Like I said, the decon thing, I don't think anybody should be surprised about. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did I get it completely wrong? Again, this is my own personal opinion, and again, I kind of favorited, I kind of favorited survival mode. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and thanks for watching, and have a good night.